Welcome back everyone to Genshin Interact. Today we're going to be talking about probably the elephant in the room that everybody's talking about right now, and we do kind of want to bring this up in general because it does have to do a lot with the information that Genshin's just in general having out right now. And a lot of that is looking at the reward system that we are currently getting for the Lantern Rite. Now there's a lot of questions and qualms about it, so hopefully this video we're going to kind of go through the beginning part, just giving our the basis of what actually happened, and if you were wondering what happened or if you maybe want a refresher, and then we're going to be going back and forth between the both of us at the second half and kind of just giving our own personal thoughts of what should happen, what has happened, kind of maybe the wrong insights and whatnot. Alright, so first and foremost, looking at actually what happened in terms of everything that kind of, I guess, did happen with the rewards and the problems that were going on. So if you didn't know, Genshin had a little bit of an issue where obviously in general we've had some issues in the past with some different rewards. Obviously the 5-star that was given for Honkai Star Rail, and Genshin was kind of looked at like, you've been out longer and you've never given out a 5-star, what's going on? You're both the Hoyoverse games, that's a little weird. People were not happy about it, but I guess there was maybe that kind of just got swept under the rug. People are kind of quote unquote over it, but then the scab got pulled back again, and now we're in Lantern Rite rewards, where in the rewards promotion preview area, we saw from the live stream that we're going to be getting some new skins, which is really, really nice. I believe we're going to be getting Xing Cho's skin for free. We just like the last Lantern Rite, where we got to choose all the different 4-star characters from Liwei, as well as Yao Yao as an inclusion. It's all of those, including Yao Yao, as well as including a new character with Ga Ming for this Lantern Rite. So we do have a free 4-star that we get to collect as well. And then we do have the May Fortune Find You event, which is going to be giving you 10 intertwined fates over the period of, I believe, 7 days. Now, there's an extra caveat here that is shown on the live stream, and that is the event called Of Kites and New Sights. Now, what this at least brought to people's attention was these are called Lantern Rite gifts on the actual preview itself, and I think a lot of people were wondering what that was, and it came out that the Genshin developers were putting out 3 wishes or 3 intertwined fates for 3 years that Genshin has been out. Now, if you don't already know too much about Genshin's system about pulling 3 wishes, or just in general for getting a character, if you're extremely lucky, it can be great, but for most people, 3 years of content that they've been, putting forward seemed like a little bit of hit to the gut. So it wasn't that great, and obviously nothing compared to getting a free 5-star that is possibly worth between 90 and 180 wishes. So 3 compared to 90 and 180 from what Star Rail did is a little bit different, and people on the Genshin forefront were not too happy about that. But never mind that, we had some issues with the Chinese community specifically. A lot of the Chinese players were very dissatisfied with the New Year rewards for themselves because they felt it was very unequal compared to the rewards that were given to a lot of the global players, and they accused a lot of the developers of not caring about the actual Chinese server and cared more about the global servers and different servers that were going on. And so we saw them kind of rally together. Genshin lost, I believe, 1 million followers on one of their bigger social media platforms in China, and that was a big hit to them, and they kind of, took a step back, apologized for it, and said that they were going to fix it. And I believe the changes are now that you have to, if you have a PS5, then you get some special reward or whatever, and there's plenty of stuff that obviously in and of itself right there, a gift is not, now you have to pay for the gift. But all of that being said, once again, just everything that's been kind of going on is a little weird and a little different about how Genshin's really been going about this. I feel like a lot of people aren't too happy about that, and this is the kind of beginning to ending and kind of where we're at least right now. There's been a lot of people talking, there's a lot of drama going on, but the Chinese community at least got, a little bit of a fix for what they did. Now it kind of comes back onto the rest of the global market, I guess, that you could look at and to see what we should do. A lot of people are then bringing up drama, going back to that 5-star that we were talking about earlier, as well as talking about getting a free 4-star skin, at least, besides just Xing Cho's free skin, choosing any of them that we would want. There's so many other different things that people would want or do in place of. So Rift, let's just kind of get down to the bread and butter of it. What do you think that, we should kind of really be looking at here?
Well, I think you've explained most of it pretty well already. The whole idea, like you kind of bringing up the confusion I think some people get. Even myself, I like at least 10 minutes was like, okay, what exactly is different here in this particular event rewards than from like previous years? Okay, what happened second anniversary? What's different about the third year anniversary? And it's really, people have been talking about those 3 extra fates. And like you said, hasn't been taken too well by most of the community. I will say that I, for one, am not too. I won't say I'm apathetic about it, but I'm not too PO'd by it. I'm just like, hey, extra wishes, because I just play the game to have fun, and like that's simply it. So I want people to have fun with the game, and hey, 3 wishes is better than no wishes. But at the same time, and you were just talking about this with me earlier, Vixen. You were saying how if you're gonna, do stuff like this, especially for Chinese New Year, a whole anniversary on this game that has made 9, maybe even 10 figures. Okay, it's ridiculous that they can't do more, right? It's like, why wouldn't they do more? Why can't they do more? I mean, okay, look at Star Rail, and I know everyone makes the comparison to Star Rail. Yes, they are different games, but yeah, they both come under Hoyoverse. So why is it that Star Rail seems to be getting more love? And yes, while both games are under different development teams, it is, I think, fair to say that Genshin Impact definitely has been underserving their player base with this. But do keep in mind that with, 4.4, Lantern Rite, and everything, we are still getting 10 free wishes with they've done that in the past before with the other anniversaries. We're getting a free 4-star selector, so that's a free 4-star character from Leeway that you get to choose. I think, personally, that's a big deal. Yes, it's not a 5-star, but another character, especially for new players, that's a big deal. It can open up new teams for yourself. I just think it's obviously better than nothing. But on top of that, like I just mentioned, we get the 10 wishes. We're going to get those extra 3. Never mind other things they might throw in there that we don't know about yet, maybe until it drops. Maybe there's some kind of surprise. I highly doubt that, but I'm just trying to be optimistic here about the whole thing. And yes, we get a free Xingqiu skin.
I think that at this point in time, the biggest problem is that if you're going to be doing this, and the difference really between this Lantern Rite and last Lantern Rite is that 3 intertwined fates and whatever those of Lantern Rite, gifts that we're going to get, the little bit of gifts we're going to get, as well as Gaming. Those are really the only differences that we're really going to have. So if you're going to say, let's do special rewards for the 3rd year, making it a big deal, right? It seems almost a slap to the face to give you 3 intertwined fates as like an extra bonus. Like, oh, thank you for spending, all the people that have spent hundreds of dollars on this game. Now, they've never been asked to, they were never forced, but the people that have spent hundreds of dollars on the games, even if it's not even necessarily, more wishes, a free 5-star, skin selector, whatever it may be, make it worthwhile so that everybody can enjoy it. 3 wishes is just something that it feels like a slap to the face. Now, I am going to talk about, there is, for instance, if you're going to give a reward in general, you need to either go big or you need to go home. There is no point in doing something super, super small and mediocre that it more or less, once again, like I was saying earlier, it feels like a slap to the face. You're not talking about, giving them a big bonus or whatever. If you were to, have a job or whatever, and the boss told you, I'm going to give you a $5 bonus at the end of the year, like $5 an hour? Like, no, just $5. Okay, well, don't even give me the $5 at all. Like, okay, what is that going to get me? It's not even going to get me like anything at like McDonald's or something. Like, there's no point in getting anything like that. But if your boss said, I'm going to give you a $5,000 bonus that isn't included with your salary, then that's a completely different story that we're talking about here. That it feels worth it. But giving a $5 bonus feels like, okay, you're a cheapskate, you're whatever. But if you didn't give a bonus at all because it's never been stated in your contract or whatever, it doesn't feel like you really lost anything. So if Genshin, I think, went through what they kind of did this Lantern Rite and said, hey, we're going to do kind of what we did last year, I don't think they would have gotten as much hate as if they kind of gave these minimal rewards as if to try to appease them. I think it was just the opposite effect.
Yeah, and I think I really like that analogy you made with the salary and, getting the bonus at the end of the year. I think that's a great way of thinking about it because, like you were saying, people who do spend money on this game, what is 3 wishes to people who spend hundreds of dollars on this game? And yes, well, what about the free to play? Well, even them, if you've been playing for even just a couple months, you can get well over 3 wishes in a short amount of time, I promise you. Even just on daily commissions, 3 wishes is, okay, 3 times 160 primos per wish. You're talking just a couple, several hundred, and an event gives more than that. It's just, standing back and looking at it, it's like, okay, that does no one really any good at the end of the day. When you step back and add it all up, the 3 wishes doesn't really change the game of, oh, I got my guaranteed 5-star, or I got a 5-star in general. It's not gonna really help with that. Once again, I just love that analogy because I think it really fits this case very well.
Yeah, I think that in terms of what Genshin can kind of do maybe in the future, you know, I don't know what we can really do. I don't necessarily have too much of an issue with this, and I said this back with the 5-star video that we made with the free 5-star with Genshin, and are we going to get one? Are we not? Blah, blah, blah. And I was just outright and said we're not going to, and it doesn't seem like we have.
Yeah.
But I don't think, that most companies need to say you have to have a free reward or whatever. At the end of the day, when we wanted to play this game, we played the game because we want to play the game. And I understand that some people believe that it's like their due diligence from Genshin to the player base is to give them rewards because they've been playing their game. Like, no offense, it's a free game, and you spend if you want to, and there are plenty of free-to-play players, and Genshin is thankful that you're keeping them in business. And how they do that is by putting out one of the best games, really, that we've ever seen that rarely ever has bugs. There are obviously things that do happen, and I'm sure there are hundreds of them, but, it's not like something like, some weird game, like a Bethesda game, no offense,
Right.
that you've got to
I was
wait,
gonna
a
say Skyrim
4-hour,
or something.
right? You've got to wait a 4-hour waiting time on something going on, or there's an extreme amount of bugs. They're extremely on top of things, and I think putting out a good product is better than any type of reward they could really give. But that being said, I do 110% understand a lot of people's backlash and understanding the idea behind almost the hurt that it kind of feels like that I was talking about earlier with the whole, if you're going to do anything at all, don't do 3 wishes that, like you were saying, you can do in a week, because what was it? It's 60 primos a day to do your commissions. If you do a week of those, 7 times 60 is 420. That's the same amount as an event that gives the primos. Usually it's about 420, between 360 and 480, I believe, is what they usually do. And so you can spend a week doing that, or 3 wishes, 160 times 3 is also 480. So you have 480, and then you get 420 for doing 7 days. Add another 8th day, and boom, you're at 480. It takes you 8 days of commissions, of just getting on for 5 minutes, doing your commissions and getting off, to get these 3 wishes. It does not seem like that big of a hit. I think that's where the biggest disconnect is coming. So yeah, I totally think it was true you were talking about earlier. We still do get the 10 wishes. We still get a free leeway character. This extra thing is kind of an added bonus. That's kind of nice. But I definitely think they could have done things differently. But it is what it is right now.
For sure. I will say, in my personal opinion, what I think they could have done was just straight up make gaming free for everyone, like a quick claim. And no, I'm not talking about the free 4-star selector. Like, I mean on top of that. So we get the free 4-star selector. Maybe don't limit it to leeway characters. Make it a free 4-star selector for all the 4-stars in the entire game. And then just give us gaming for free. Boom. And I think that would contend better with a free 5-star idea. Because that's still not a free 5-star. But that just gives a lot of new players and even existing players the option is what I'm getting at. Because granted, not unless you spent money on the game, in an insanely amount, you're not going to have the C6 for every single 4-star in the game. And if you do, okay, look, gaming's coming out, so give us like the free gaming just right there, and then the free 4-star selector for any character. I just think that would contend better. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I think there's plenty of things they could have done. That sounds like a really good idea. A skin selector, we don't know if necessarily is going to be there or not. We kind of don't really actually know if that's for sure going to be there. It didn't seem like it was in the preview, so who knows if we're actually getting that. But there's so many other things that they could have done, and it does not seem like good enough of what they're going to be doing from what they've done in previous years.
Hmm.
Don't pretend like this year is special if there's nothing special really about it besides a very small bump, you know?
Right. It seems more or less like they were just trying to retaliate to the China drama, specifically from the Chinese community. They're trying to add in a little bit extra because of all the backlash they were getting from that community, being like, hey, we're not getting enough rewards, so we're just going to boycott the game and, speak with our wallets and just not pay for the game anymore. Don't spend any more money. You know, I don't know. There's a lot going on there, and I personally don't know too much about it. I just looked into it a little bit. I just think at the end of the day, they should have done more. I do think so. But I'm not too, peeved about it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm still hyped for 4.4. I can't wait. I'm going to be playing it a lot.
Yes.
I have nothing against I'm not going to be boycotting the game.
Right.
I haven't expected really anything to be given from Genshin besides just a good game. I've just expected great graphics with great gameplay, solid characters that I have fun with, and barely any bugs, and honestly, an amazing storyline. And they have time and time again, besides Dia,
Yep.
I will cry about that till the end of time. They have time and time again shown to be and to do that, and I'm thankful for that. And never mind, actually, Ningguang not being a 5-star, but there are obviously things that you could complain about, and nobody's perfect, but there are things that could have happened. There's rewards that could have been better. There's different games that you would have wished did better, had better, this or that. But I think that's kind of really all we have for today. At the end of the day, still play the game if you want to. Don't play the game if you don't. Speak if you want to speak. We don't want to silence anybody. We're just saying that our personal thoughts, we're just going to be still playing the game, just having fun like we always have. Well, besides that, that's kind of all we really have for today. We hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe, and just so that you guys can get a little bit more of our content as well. Check out our other videos if you so desire. We also have a Discord as well, so if you guys do want to go ahead and check that out, that'd be great. But besides that, we'll see you guys in the next one.